It's all we've ever wanted. I mean, as a kid, all I wanted to do was be married. And I found my perfect husband and my knight in shining armor, and we both wanted to be parents. We were told we would never be able to have children, and now we have 3.
We had already gone through 3 doctors telling us that we weren't going to have children, and this was the very last time. And that's when I realized that it's God who decides, not doctors.
We've been raising kids for millions of years, so I figured it was something that would just come naturally.
It's part of my vocation. You get married and that's part of the deal.
As you go on through life, you'll figure things out.
The first time I held Ian, it was just amazing. Here's this little tiny person who's a part of the 2 of us. He's got this little red peach fuzz. He was very cute, very sweet. A little overwhelming just in the thought that, we're responsible for bringing up this child.
When God gives a child to a parent, that's no accident.
The awesomeness of the responsibility of making sure that this child is raised and brought up properly.
That child, from the moment that he was in his mother's womb, was foreknown and intended and planned by God from the foundation of the world.
You don't want to adversely affect this little being, in any negative way.
The act of trust that God makes in any parent when he entrusts something that valuable to them and says, form this into something worth eternity, that is an amazing and frightening responsibility.
The biggest fear is getting hurt. If I just turn my back for a second and maybe they wander off.
Is he sleeping as much as he needs?
For he's coughing.
Fall down the stair.
He's got an ear infection.
Oh, is he eating enough?
Get hit by a car.
He's having some allergic reaction to something and he's got eczema from head to toe and you're just like, where's my instruction manual?
Little basic things that we were afraid of to start off with.
Cole. He was born on 9/11 in New York, the day the towers were hit. There was so much joy, but there was also sadness. The first thing you think of is, oh my God, what kind of world did you just come into? That was my first thought when I held my child.
Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Chloe. Good morning, Nina. We're glad you're here today.
There's a fundamental idea that we operate constantly on, and it's the idea that as a twig is bent, so the tree grows. And that the ages between 3 and 5 is a tremendous opportunity to lay the foundation for who the child will be and how they will learn and how they will see the world.
Education is one of the biggest, most amazing gifts you can give your child.
I just knew that I wanted to focus on sort of a value-based education.
Actually expanding their mind and their horizons. I mean, it's amazing to see what 3-year-olds are capable of.
7,000, 8,000, 9,000.
And it's a tremendous opportunity to shape children who can make a real difference in the world and make a real difference for themselves, a truly happy life.
Good morning, Angel. We're glad you're here today.
Our whole classroom is predicated on motivating the children through joy. And the difference between us and a play-based environment is that most play-based environments motivate the children to have fun. And if the only motivation kids have to learn is that it's fun, they're going to founder when it gets hard.
Developmental psychologists in the last 30, 40 years have all said that the children, from 0 through 6 really learn differently. Their brains are wired differently, and you have to teach them differently.
In the morning when children come to school, we shake hands with them. We look each other in the eyes and say, look at my beautiful, look at your beautiful eyes, and look at mine, and we shake hands. We teach them a grace of courtesy, the basic manner.
The children come in the morning, they're dropped off, and then we play for a little bit on the playground.
They need to let their wiggles out, and that's a great time for children to socialize with each other.
And we like to play dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. Ride bikes and play in the sandbox.
And then we come in and we do a circle where a whole lot of things happen.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's something when you do prayer, pledge of allegiance, good morning song, calendar, marble job, and other stuff. Angels sing by God to guide me, be my light.
We teach our children the guardian angel prayers, which is so great and so important for us.
On the paths of life direct me. Amen.
Who can remember how many legs an octopus has?
The thing that is so beautiful about our method is that it teaches kids to learn not by simply memorizing what somebody else tells them. It's being exposed to something and then discovering that reality itself corresponds to it.
We start introducing to the decimal system by putting marbles for each day that we come to school.
Or 10 batches. You take a marble out of our jar, you put it on the toilet and see how many days we've been to school.
How many marbles are there? When all the 9 spots are filled, we call this a crisis of 9.
And when it's 10, you have to batch it.
150. So you know what happens when the 10 batch spots are filled?
If it's 100 day, you get to bring 100 cars or anything.
They bring all kinds of things. 100 M&Ms, 100 Cheerios, 100 pennies.
10, 20, 30.
Our classroom is so rich with all kinds of activities.
A, B, C, D.
We make sure we introduce each job to the kids so they know how to work with the job correctly and properly.
The reason that we use terminology like jobs for all of these individual activities in the classroom, because these kids want to accomplish something themselves.